welcome back to a new episode of the Knitting Podcast. My name is Caroline. Welcome if you're new here, or welcome back if you've been here before. I am an indie dyer. I hand dye wool under the brand Yarn, which is the name of my channel. Yeah, you can buy my yarn online at yarn.com. You can find me on all social media, especially Instagram at yarn. This is where I'm the most active, so if you want to follow what I'm up to, stories, and generally just update about what's happening, Instagram is where to go. Yeah, so welcome back. This episode is a knitting episode, so it is not a flash the yarn episode. It is an episode in which I'm actually going to talk to you about what I've been working on, show you finished objects, work in progress and all of that, but I'm also going to start and be talking mainly about Woolfest. Yes, so Woolfest is a festival, yarn festival that happened almost 3 weeks ago this weekend, 3 weeks ago, yeah, up in Auckland, and that was my first ever trading event and just first ever yarn event in general. I have never been to a yarn event or festival before that, so that was a lot of new things for me. What I forgot to say in the intro before is that I live in the South Island of New Zealand, which is Dunedin, in a town called Dunedin or Otipoti. Beautiful little coastal town, and yeah, so I'm quite far south compared to most other people in this community, and it was a bit of a travel to get all the way back to the North Island for going to this Auckland festival. Totally worth it though. I had such an amazing day, and yeah, I'll talk a bit more in details here about it in a minute. But yeah, first of all, I wanted to say a huge thank you for whoever came on the day and met me, and I met so many of you. I got to give so many hugs, and I recognized many people from having talked to them before, and then sometimes I really didn't. I mean, it was an intense day, and yeah, it was a very busy event. There was a lot of people here. Emotions were flying high in a good way. It was just super packed with intensity. And yeah, so it's a bit of a blur to try and remember every interaction and everything, just because it was such a cool and big day. But yeah, I got to meet a lot of you guys, so I really hope that we actually crossed paths on the day and that I got to have a chat with you. And if we didn't, because I was for some reason busy doing something else, so I was out of my stand, I hope that you got to talk to my partner Sam, who was here on the day to help me and was a huge help, because I don't think I could have left and gone to the toilet without him being there. It was, yeah, it was pretty crazy. I had worked my butt off before Woolfest to bring triple the amount of stock that I usually do for a monthly update, and I sold about half of it on the day, which was insane. So thank you if you've came by, if you said hello, if you gave me a hug, and if you bought from me. Yeah, really, it was so cool. Amazing to meet everyone, and not just you guys that came to my stand, but all my friends and colleagues, I don't know how you say that word, that I consider very dear to my heart, other indie dyers and crafters that were trading on the day, that I've been talking to some of them for 3 years online and never got to meet in person. So how amazing it was to meet these people, I can't even describe it. Yeah, it was super cool. So yeah, today I'll, as I said, once we'll get into the knitting, I'll show you finished objects, then I'll show you work in progress, and then I'll end with showing you my stash acquisition and everything that I got from Woolfest. It's not a ton, because I'm not someone that necessarily buys a lot of yarn for myself, simply because I don't have any time to knit, and I try to reinvest every money I've got aside into my business by buying new yarn, so that I can just keep investing into my business basically for the first few years, as I'm still establishing myself. So on the day we arrived there, so one regret that I have is that even though I took the camera, there is zero footage, so I really regret that I didn't film more or asked my partner Sam to film more. But to be honest, as I said, although there was moments when the shop was a little bit more quiet, most of the day it was non-stop. And I was talking, if I wasn't selling something to someone, I was deep in depth in the conversation, and I really wanted to leave these moments, and I didn't want to be like to have the camera in the way. Like, it would have been great to have footage, but to be honest, I just wanted to be 100% present on the moment and talk to you guys and meet you all. So yeah, I don't regret too much, but I will try to get more footage the next time this happened, which will be in Fibertron, which is a yarn festival that's happening in Hamilton. At the end of July, on the 24th or 25th of July, on a Saturday. So yeah, I will try to have a bit more footage then, but to be honest, it's not my priority. I just want to enjoy the day, meet people, have conversations. Yeah, that's the best for me. So that definitely delivered. You guys definitely showed up at Woolfest, so I'm so happy to have met you once again. Yeah, I sound a little bit nasally, sorry about that. I'm recovering from a bit of a cold. As I said, like, this was an intense month for me. I really worked really hard for Auckland Woolfest, just non-stop, and then going there was insane. You know, it was a lot of rush, and I've kept working the whole time, so I haven't taken like a week off holiday or anything. I took a day off when I was in Auckland, obviously, but I went back to work straight on the Monday morning after flying back from Auckland on the Sunday, and I worked on Monday, Tuesday. And then I had to intensely work last week for the shop update, because I came back with substantial amount of stock, still about half my stock, and I really wanted to put everything online for those of you who have been following what I was doing and that wanted to get yarn from me. So then last week was just a lot of work to get that done on time for the weekend, which happened. And again, a huge thank you, because you guys also showed up on my shop update. This has been a good month for me, very good in terms of everything. So thank you so much for your support. It really means the world, and I couldn't do it without you, clearly. So yeah, thank you. So yeah, now you know how it is. I don't know if you've been there, but you push too hard, and I'm someone that doesn't really take many days off. I just work a lot on my, I mean, it's a passion, so you don't really count your hours, right? But when you work from home, you also just you have to kind of escape. Like I always say, that if I need a holiday, I need to actually leave my house, because if I'm gonna be around my yarn and everything, I'm just gonna be working. Like, that's just what's gonna happen. And to be honest, even if I'm not next to it, I'm constantly thinking about what I'm gonna do next, what's my to-do list, what's, you know, it's a constant like thought process. I end up on my phone at like 11:30 p.m. instead of sleeping. I'm looking at like shopping beads and stuff like that for stitch marker I want to make, and all sorts of stuff like that. So it's a constant stream of work in, you know, in my mind, and so that can be quite exhausting. And sometimes you just end up a bit burnt out, which happened to me after this month of extensive work. And at the end of last week, oh yeah, also on top of it, last week, one of really good friend of mine called Maddie lives nearby to me. One day my friend Maddie just sat down when we were just having a drink at her house with friends, and she pulled out a guitar and she started singing her own songs with the most angelic voice I've ever heard. Anyways, she writes her own songs. She's got beautiful talent that it is playing the guitar, singing it, the lyrics, the melody she puts together. I was blown away. I was kind of like, what the hell? Like, how am I just learning this now, and how can I not Shazam this thing, you know? Like, why can't I just go home and listen to this? It's not known anywhere. Why have you not released the record? But anyways, she is someone that I can relate, has a little bit of anxiety around singing and just hasn't done it. She just does it at home for her friends, and I just wouldn't let that go. And so I've been kind of boosting her like confidence, me and her partner, for the past months. And so she ended up being given an ultimatum to sing at a coffee a bar where her partner would have his 30th birthday party, and she ended up asking me if I wanted to sing with her, because I loved her song so much, and I'm pretty good at harmonizing, that I kind of picked up the lyrics and picked up her song really quickly. And anyways, I'd never done that before. I think I sang once in my life before, and I was really drunk at a karaoke, so not anything, you know. The rest of the time I just sing for myself. Like, I know I can sing, but I don't have like an amazing voice or anything, so I was just gonna do backups vocals. And I was like, yeah, I'll do it with you. If that means you doing it, if that means you go out there and you sing, yeah, I'm here. So anyways, after Woolfest I came home, and every night after this, on top of getting ready for the shop update and all the admin and the photo and the work that goes into this, sorry, my hair annoying me, I was at her place every night to practice, because she was, yeah, crippled with anxiety. That was supposed to happen on the Saturday. God damn, sorry. Yeah, if you've been watching me for a while, you will know that, again, talking too much about anxiety, but one of the way my anxiety shows itself is through me fiddling with my hair. So just ignore me when I do that. This is just me dealing with the situation. Anyways, back onto that. So yes, we were supposed to sing on the Saturday. So there was a lot of going there and getting ready with her at the end of the day. So yeah, and everyone around me is sick. I think the cold's going on at the moment, so I wasn't gonna escape it. On the weekend my partner had his kids there, they were both sick, so I knew that I was exhausted. I was getting to a point where I was just like falling off. So I worked on Monday, Tuesday again this week, and then I was sick on the Tuesday night. I was just burnt out and I got sick and it was just too much. So I took a day off on Wednesday, and it was so good. It's just I kept having to like slap myself on the hand whenever I was thinking about work and looking into things, and I was like, no, you know, you're just taking a day off, you're not allowed to think about work today, you work on resting and just recomposing, not even thinking about it. And that was enough to just like make me feel better, getting a lift of my shoulder and just be back onto it the next day and having that energy. So yeah, a lot of rant for the whole thing, but basically just want to say that it was all worth it. Woolfest was amazing, and I can't wait for Hamilton. So Fibertron, yeah, Fibertron I'm even more excited about. It's going to be a lot of fun. So yeah, what am I going to talk about as highlights of the day? Like, oh my god, I don't even know where to start. So as I said, I don't have any camera footage for the day. However, I will recommend you to go and watch Marina. Her name is Marina, and she is indie dyer as well, behind Strawberry Patches, and that's the name of her YouTube channel as well, Strawberry Patches. She's lovely, and I'm sad that I didn't get to talk more with her during the day, but as I said, I could barely leave my stand. So there's actually quite a few dyers and other workers that I wish I had the time to go by their stand and support them and at least go and say hi, but I didn't have a chance. I think whenever my shop wasn't flooded with everyone and I could actually leave Sam by himself, either I was running to the toilet or I just took 2 minutes to go in the shed nearby for the people that I really wanted to buy from, and I went to buy from them. I didn't have much time. So anyways, but Marina came in by my stand before the door opened at 10 AM because we arrived there at yeah, actually I'm going to talk about that first. So we flew from Auckland on this Friday night, and we arrived on the Friday night, and then we went to Kmart straight away because in Dunedin we used to have a Kmart and then it got closed off. But anyway, it would have not served me, because the reason we went there is that I wanted one of those wooden three-tier fold bamboo kind of clothes drying thing that they had, because I have one at home that I bought from them that I really like, and I was gonna hang my yarn on there with reusable zip tie just to get a bit more room, because I had so much stock and I had 2 tables and I just wanted to have a different display, if that makes sense. And I was sure it was gonna fit in my suitcase, and it was this much too big not to fit in, so I couldn't take it up with me with Auckland, and I was like, we're just gonna have to drive to a Kmart when we arrive and hope that we find one, which we did, very luckily. So I just got one when we got there, and yeah, that was good. And then the time to sign up in our Airbnb, and I was still doing packaging with the rest of the yarn up to like midnight the night before. And then on the day, so the door were opening at 8, but I was certain they were opening at 7, and I really wanted to have as much time as possible, so I wanted to be there by 7. I had taken a B&B that was really close to Kumu Showgrounds, which is where it was happening, just because I wanted to be really close and ready to go, basically. Yeah, and so at 3 AM on that night, I was certain I had my phone alarm, like certain. Excuse me. And I got up and I started getting ready, being like, you know, it was 3 AM. Like, I absolutely did not hear my phone alarm. It did not go off. It was just my brain being so stressed out with the next day that just imitated it. I was like, great, okay. So then obviously I didn't sleep from 3 AM to like 6 AM onwards, just like tossing around and waiting. And then on the day, okay, so I had bought this dress, which thank you to everyone who gave me compliment about the dress. Lots of compliments, which was really nice. But basically it's like a tulle kind of dress, and it was holographic style. And the reason I bought this dress was because I've got these new labels which are holographic on the front, and I just thought it'd be cute to have a dress that kind of matched the labels. So I bought that dress, was like, yeah, that'll be my dress on the day. But then, you know how it is sometimes, the self-conscious side of you, like in the morning I was getting ready and I was like, is this too much? Is this like, because I kind of looked like a 5-year-old that was allowed to dress with her favorite costume for the day going to school, you know, the one. And no shade on that, like 5-year-olds got it down, so I went with it. But for a minute there, I was like, I don't know, like, is this maybe a bit not appropriate, or not, maybe just not necessary, you know? So I had another like black velvet dress that I had taken just in case, thank God, with me in my bag, in case I had a anxiety crisis and felt like too silly in my dress and had to go and quickly get changed before the door opened. And anyways, so then we turn up at 7, realized that the doors don't open until 8, and I was like, oh, what are we gonna do? Like, I mean, Kumyu Showgrounds is lost in the middle of the country. It is not like near a city or anything, so there's not many cute cafes to stop at or anything like that. So we just went to the BP petrol station next, like, to, yeah, because another thing is Sam had gotten me this amazing handmade logo light. So it's like a circular light that has my logo on it, and it projects it outwards, because we didn't have any signage, and he's an electrician, and so yeah, we thought it would be a really fantastic idea. And I had lots of compliment about it on the day as well. People really liked that. Pretty sure my friend Cindy wants one, so we're gonna get onto that for you, Cindy. But yeah, anyways, yeah, so we wanted to go to a BP to find a screwdriver to make sure that he could mount it on the wall, blah 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 blah. So we went there, and I got myself a big coffee, you know, and a croissant, because I'm French, and I mean, not to compare them with French croissant, please, but still, I just had to get a croissant. So, and then when, I don't know if you've ever been to France, so I don't know if that's something you've ever seen before, but in my family and many people I know in France, one thing we do is that we love to dip our pastry and croissants into our coffee before eating it. And obviously I thought it was a great idea to do that in the car. So I removed the lid of my coffee, and I started like dipping my croissant, and it slipped from my hand, and the whole thing just poured onto my dress, my tulle holographic dress, at like 7 AM. Like, I don't know, half an hour I think it was before we was to go there. And I just turned and looked at Sam, and I was just like, no, I'm pretty sure like single tear, you know, rolled in my face. And I was like, oh, and we had rented the car, it was everywhere, like on the seat. I was like, great, this is a good start of the day. This is classic Caroline. So I was just like, right, well, okay, sorry, but we're back. Sorry, my hair driving me crazy. I just need to chop them. So anyways, I was like, what the hell am I gonna do? And then thank God, as I said, I had packed this extra dress, you know, for this exact, not for this exact reason, because not that I was gonna plan that, but I had planned this extra dress, and I was like, well, I'm just gonna go get changed in the toilet and wear that one instead. But I was gutted, because I really, by that point, had worked myself the courage to wear the other dress, and I really wanted to, and I was like, whatever, man. So I took the other dress as well, I got changed in the car with the black one, and then I went into the toilet of the BP, and I rinsed the dress into the toilet, like, with water, and I used like hand soap, and it really like got it out, because I took it up early, I think, and I was like, sweet. And I was like, well, now I gotta dry, it's drenched, obviously, you know. And I did like the Mr. Bean thing, when you get under the like dryer in the toilet, and I was not wearing it, but I was like holding it underneath, and I went in there for like so long trying to like just dry the goddamn dress. And I did a good job. I think it dried at about like 83% maybe, and I was like, that's good enough, and I was pretty proud of myself. So I went back into the car with the dress, and I was like, whatever, I'm staying in the black dress for now anyways, we don't have more time, let's go and set up. So then you get there, and everyone, it's all go, there's cars everywhere, everyone's trying to find a park, everyone's unpacking their car and vans and like going into their spots, and that was my job as well. And then I had like 2 hours to set up, so I was all stressed, and I was like in my black mini velvet dress, like setting up everything, you know. anyways, and then just before we finished, I went and got changed into the other dress and then came back. And I think it was either Xavier or Turea from Die Happy Yarn that came later on and had a laugh with me about the fact that they're like this. I think she said something like, yeah, I really like that your casual getting ready, getting set up dress is like a black velvet mini dress, and then you get changed into another dress. And I was like, no, my normal getting ready would be kind of this. Like, this was absolutely not planned, but yeah, I can see how it would have looked cool from the outside. Not taking myself that seriously, I hope. But yeah, I'm not kidding myself. So anyways, back on to not me but the day. Yeah, so then the doors opened, and it was great. Like I had my friend Sarah who brought me and Cindy some treats. Like, she brought me 2 cans of Red Bull. Like, what an angel, I mean, seriously. So that was really handy on the day, because I was boosted with caffeine that day for sure. Not that I really needed it, that it's one of those days that really has so much like energy that it carries you. So it was awesome. Yeah, and so like I then, like, as I said, like the few times that I did leave my stand, I went to see Cindy, I went to see Paula at Purple Sprouting, I went to see Heather at Heatherware, and I definitely bought some stuff from her. I was obsessed with her stand. She even brought a rug. She had a rug. I mean, yeah. I went to see, so yeah, that's one thing I was touching on before and I didn't finish. Marina came to see me before the door opened and filmed my stand, and everyone else. So she did a really good job at filming a lot of Woolfest on the day. So go and subscribe to Strawberry Patches and watch her latest Woolfest video if you want to get a little bit of a glimpse on the day of what was there, because she did it for us, which was good. And yeah, so after that, who else did I go see? I went to see Turea. Yeah, that's about it. I mainly went into my shed. A little bit next door, I got to meet Lester from Prosper Hand-Dyed. I got to meet lovely Alana from Lupine Walco, the shop in Auckland. I went to see, I can't remember how many people I went to see, honestly, because it was very brief. But Becca from Goodwool and Zay, which is amazing. Yeah, so well, the sun just left us, guys. Just be on a cloud, hopefully it comes back. Yeah, it was really fun. But yeah, it was a very brief for me in and out visit before the end of the day, and then after that we had to drive to the opposite side of Auckland to visit a friend, so we didn't really get to hang out that much, but I'm sure we will in future. Okay, so I don't know, that's about it for Woolfest. There was moments of Woolfest which is probably like, which was less fun. Not many at all. I'm just kind of joking, but I don't know, like every now and then there was some lady that would come in and just be do I have to put a word to it? Like, okay, here's an example. One lady just came in and was doing this face the whole time, like lifting things, like what is that? I was like, well, it's just yarn, lady. I mean, sorry, shocking. And yeah, was making face and then asked you question, being like, well, what is that? You know, and I'm just like, oh, this is, you know, blah blah blah, and would just make this face, but like, oh no, or like, just like, come on, like, get your shit together. You don't speak like that to people. This is fucking rude. Or I'd be in conversation with someone else and then, you know, people would interrupt you. I mean, it's okay sometimes, of course, but like in a rude way. I'd just be like, excuse me, and tap on your shoulder and excuse me. It's like, I'm talking with someone else. I mean, I'm so sorry. This is just a angry customer service side of me that's coming out after having worked in hospitality for like 9 years. You have this like, you hold this like slight grudge when people don't have any fucking manners, and you're just like, you need to fucking learn a little bit of how to behave in an environment, like just thinking that because the person's trading and it's a shop or something, you can treat them like shit, or you can, I don't know, maybe those people are like that with everyone in their life, I don't know. But in any case, it was kind of funny. And also this very much yes, very much last reward for that lady who wins the prize of best attendee of the day, who I've seen in one go coming into my shop coughing heavily into her hand, like and then in one gesture going to touch every single skein of my stand with the same hand, in the same gesture. I had hand sanitizer there. I mean, I was just so baffled. I didn't say anything and I regret it, but I was like, Wow, that is so not on. That is so not on. Granny, did you miss what happened last year? And even without that, yak, like the heck. Yeah, so that's it. The rant is over for this. But otherwise, apart from these 2 or 3 little events, it was amazing. Definitely rate it. Definitely going back, hopefully next year. We'll see. Okay, so now onto the knitting. We will start with finish objects. Finish objects. As you can see, I'm wearing one on my head right now. There. You've seen me taking it on and off about 10 million times since I'm moving my hair during this episode. Yes. I take it off for this. I love this. So this is a new yarn base that I had started for Woolfest, and I will bring plenty more. I have called this yarn base Oodles because it's a super bulky yarn. It's gorgeous. It's a single ply, 100%, no, it's not 100% merino, sorry, it's 80-20. So it's 80% superfine merino and 20% nylon for a bit of resistance. And it's about 70 meters per 100 gram. It's absolutely divine. It is super wash treated and just lovely to work with. I mean, and to squish. It's so soft. It is so squishy. I absolutely love it. And this color on it is called Aphrodite, and that was one of my color from Woolfest. I had pretty much every color of the collection of Woolfest dyed on Oodles, this base, but surprisingly they just didn't go almost at all during the day. So I came back with quite a bit of it. And I mean, my shop update is still live on my online shop, but you might not find much, because what's happening, and what I often tend to do, is that I then take my stock and I bring it to the Fair Princess, which is a shop in town, where I just keep it because it makes room for me to have it there, and people might as well just go and see my stock in person in that shop. So if you're ever looking for something, just go and check the Fair Princess if you're local. They have an internet website on the internet.com. They have a website. Now I'm just saying that because I have read on their whole website. I'm working there part-time. And yeah, they had one before, but it was pretty crappy, so you couldn't really navigate it really easily. But it's been redone, and it's launching normally with it today or within the next few days. So you will see my products listed online. You can buy them from them. If you don't find them on my online shop, you can buy them physically if you're from Dunedin. If you're looking on my online shop and you were looking for any colors that were part of the latest update, the way you will know that is if you're just on the main page and you keep scrolling until you see the individual yarn. This is the collection that generally just got launched that month. If you go on these products and the base you were looking at or the color you were looking at were not available in like a specific yarn or color or base, you know, you could just send me a message, because it might still be there. It might just be listed offline, out of stock on my website, but be at the Fair Princess, and I can just like organize to sell it to you via my own shop or whatever is easy for you. So yeah, in any case, even if my website sometimes look completely empty after a week of event of update, it's not because it's all been sold out. It's just because I moved everything to the Fair Princess, and they don't keep track of how they sell my yarn, so I don't want to double sell it. So I just put it up out of stock on my website, and I just list it one place at a time. That makes sense, but it might still be there. So feel free to go check it out on their website or in person or whatever, or just email me and message me if you're looking for something specific. I also have brought back pre-orders this month, and for the foreseeable future. On my website, there is a page on my website now called pre-orders. Go on there and read all the information. There is different kind of pre-orders, so if you're looking for something specific, go for there. I have a friend, Marcel, who has messaged me to get a sweater quantity of Oodles, this yarn, in the wool fade. So I'm going to create a custom wool fade over 7 skein for her to make a like chunky sweater with this wool. Can you imagine how amazing that's going to be? I just cannot wait to get onto that. So yeah, you can totally do the same if you're looking for something like that, because this is an amazing wool for maybe sweaters. But I generally just bring a couple. Well, generally I've only done it like once, but I brought just a couple this update for each color. And like I used more than one for this beanie because I wanted it to be quite heavy. You can find patterns for beanies that will use 70 meters or less if you wanted to just use one ball, but I personally just really like this one. So yeah, so I wanted to go I had saved 2 balls aside for that exact reason. The name of this pattern is, hold on, I will tell you.
One eternity later.
So the name of this pattern is called the Twisted Rib Beanie by Hooks and Hookery, I think. Yeah. So I found that on Ravelry. I bought it, and it's a very basic twisted rib beanie, which is what I wanted for this one, just because I wanted to show the yarn flex, and I was thinking brioche initially. Yeah, it was either gonna be twisted rib, like fisherman's rib, something like that, or it was gonna be brioche. I've been wearing this beanie non-stop for the past 2 days, so that's why my hair is like this, you see, and I really just want to cut it all out. I'm gonna try and not touch it anymore, but this, okay, done. Okay, so anyways, Hooks and Hookery. So this is knitted on size 10mm needles, circular, and it was such a quick knit, which is what I needed, because as I said, I have 0 time to knit anymore. I hadn't knit at all during the months when I was getting ready for Woolfest, and I really, like, I'm late on some test knitting. It's just, it's dramatic. I just don't have time. I don't have time to do it. So I really wanted to knit on my day off the other day, and I wanted something gratifying, because although I have a lot to do, I just wanted to do something, cast on and finish it on time. So I did this beanie, and I wanted to see how Udo knitted up as well, so which is why I did this one. Yeah, and yeah, it's super quick. So 10mm needles. The pattern goes from children to, like, several size children to small adults, like teen and small adults, and then adults. And I think for adults they cast on 42 stitches, and for small adults it was just 40 stitches. And I've got a very small head, I know that about myself, so I immediately went for the small adult thing. But even though it fitted on my head, so I knitted it all the way to the decrease, so I basically had like 11 inches of it, and I was ready to decrease, but I kept trying it on, and I was like, yeah, it does fit, but it was pretty snug. Like, it would stretch, let's just say that it would stretch the yarn enough that it was kind of not pretty anymore in my mind. I just thought it was too stretched, and it would fit like nice and snug, but I just wanted it to be a bit more loose and to preserve a little bit more of the shape when it's like not stretched. So I ended up just completely removing all of it, and cast it on again yesterday, and I banged it in a day really quickly, in a few hours. It's super quick knit, honestly. And yeah, so this time I cast it on 2 stitches more than the adult version, and I did it on 46 stitches. So if you like this, bear in mind I've got a pretty small head. If you've got a big head, maybe go to 48 or 50 stitches. This is a perfect fit. I'm quite happy I went back and did it that way. It is, you can see there's still room to stretch, but it's sitting really nicely on my head, and it's keeping a little bit its shape, which I like. I'm not a massive beanie wearer myself. I just don't really find them looking good on me, except if I find a shape that I really like, and this is the case for this one. I just really like the shape of that one, so I'm actually gonna get quite a few wear of it. And I don't think, I was gonna do a pom-pom or something, but I don't think I am gonna, because I like how it's sitting at the top. Yeah, I'm just probably gonna leave this one the way it is now, and yeah, that's about it. Sorry. Ugh, squeamish. Right, so that was my first finish objects. Yeah, totally recommend. Really easy if you've never done twisted rib. It's pretty easy. You just have to knit through the back loop instead of knitting through the front loop, and when you purl from like the underside instead of the upper side when you put your yarn over. Like, watch the tutorial, it's pretty easy, but you just basically twist your knit and twist your pearls, and that gives you this really lovely finish, which I really like. So yeah, that's the first finish objects. A second finished object I have, you definitely would have seen that on my grid if you follow me, and that is my Ghost Whisperer pattern. There it is. Love this one. Got stuff on it. Yeah. So this is the Ghost Whisperer top by Pack Williams, which is Pack and Knit on Instagram. Love it. This one is knitted in baby suri alpaca and silk, which is my surreal base, and it is in the color Lavender Mist, which I've made up for this exact top. So I got an impulsive idea when I kept following. I was following the Ghost Whisperer before its release, but I wasn't necessarily, I don't know why, I wasn't necessarily, like I was following, but I wasn't super hyped necessarily, or thinking I was even gonna need it at the point. And then it got released, and I don't know what came over me. I was just like, actually I like this, actually I want this right now, like right now. So like, I'm just gonna do a marathon. I've got Baby Suri here. I'm just gonna dye 2 skeins because it called for, I think, just about, like, a skein of Baby Suri is 300 meters for 50 gram, and yeah, I was doing a size medium, so I just thought I'd do 2 skeins, but I ended up using just one in the end, so I didn't need the other one. I mean, they were just slightly different colors a little bit, so I melted them together, but I did weigh the top at the end, and it was only 50 grams, so it was just 1 skein basically, and I did 0 modifications. So it's knitted from the top down, the bottom up, I mean. So you knit the bottom, and then you separate for the sleeves. You do a little like front, like, shaping for this, but there's no short rows that I can remember of. And then you pick up the sleeves stitches, and you do some increases just over the top on each side here to make kind of a poofy sleeve. And then you can choose at the end to make an I-cord edge or a rib, and I went for rib. It's lost, which I've learned, and I didn't know alpaca tends to do that. It's losing its shape a lot more than mohair maybe would, or something like that, but it is so absolutely so soft that I don't mind at all. But yeah, basically this was sitting snug and more tight against my arm before, and now it's a bit more loose. I blocked it briefly but very gently, like I don't think it was like that before the blocking, so, because I wore it for a good couple weeks before I blocked it, and it was starting to lose its shape already. But yeah, so, and then at the end you do an I-cord edging on the collar, and yeah, so it's knit with 1 strand of lace weight, so you could do mohair or Baby Suri like this, and yeah, it's knit on 6.5 millimeter needles, and that's about it. So as I said, I went to like a marathon. I dyed 2 skeins on the night, and I was trying to see how quickly I could dye the yarn, dry the yarn, wind it into cakes, put it on in cast on basically, and then finish the top. And I would have finished it in 24 hours, the whole thing, weren't I so busy with life and work that I had to actually put it aside. But I did dye the yarn, get it dried, and got it cast on in the same night, and then I ended up having to take an extra few days to actually finish the top, just because I couldn't actually knit on it. But otherwise it is such a quick knit, it is so gratifying, the construction is lovely and really easy to follow. Yeah, I highly recommend it. And me and Cindy from Nana Cindy are hosting a knit along for this top until the end of June. All you have to do if you want to enter her knit along is at least cast it on. You can use any yarn you want. So I said you can knit it with a strand of mohair lace, that is mohair, sorry, or Baby Suri lace weight, but you can absolutely go for something else. This is the kind of pattern, if you've knit the ranunculus sweater, this is the same principle. It's the kind of pattern, because it's knit on 6.5, you'll get the same gauge if you go for a 4-ply, for example. So if you don't want something that's as see-through as this, you can just go for a thick ply, which is what I'm doing my second one in. I'm doing it in 4-ply, and I'll show you in a minute, just because I want to see how it's gonna look in 4-ply, you know, and I want to give myself the option to have a few different ones. I really like it, so I know I'm gonna knit a bunch of them because the cut is really awesome. So yeah, I love it. I've got so many wears of it already, and yeah, it is see-through, but the fuzz of the alpaca really hides more than it lets on. I wore mine with like a lacy bra underneath, and you couldn't see that the bra was lacy, so it really was actually hiding quite a bit. So anyways, if you want to enter the knit along, yeah, as long as you start by casting on, you don't have to finish it or anything, and tag me and Nana Cindy, or mainly the hashtag YeNanaCal. So it's Ye, Y-E-A-H, Nana, N-A-N-A, Cal, K-A-L. So YeNanaCal, if you hashtag us on Facebook or Instagram, so that you can get an entry. And at the end we will draw 2 random winners, which will gain free skein of a couple of skein for my, I think it's a couple of skein in each case. So I will give 2 skeins of Baby Suri alpaca away in the color of your choice, which is from my last collection, and Cindy will do the same with mohair. So yeah, it's really fun. I'd really encourage you to come and join us for this little long yeah. So lavender mist here. I've got still some Baby Suri in this color available. As I said, it might not be in my online shop, but just message me or check the Felt Princess if you like this color and you would want yours to look the same. Yeah, so that's it for the Ghost Whisperer top. I think I said everything I had about it, but if you have any question, you can always leave them in the comment box below. So anyways, then after that, I used the remnant yarn, and not all of it, I still have plenty left, to make a scrunchie. Isn't it cute? Isn't it cute? I love it. I didn't follow a pattern for this guy. I simply used double strand of the Baby Suri alpaca, which is what you're supposed to do for the I-cord hedging there and the cuffs. So I did the same. I used the same 6.5mm needles, and I cast it on, I think it was 120 stitches, because I wanted it to be really poofy, which it is. So I cast it on 120 stitches on 6.5 with double strand, and I knitted, I can't remember for how long I knitted, probably 15 centimeters, something like that. And then eventually you just knit in a circular way in the round, and then I cast it off loosely, and then you put basically you just then turn it around so that the pearl side is facing the outside, and you take an elastic band and you put it through the middle like as a tube, and it'll just like bunch on each side, and then you just meet those sides just like all round like this, like you would do with a dumpling. And you just sew it all together and sim it. So it was really easy to do. It was real nice and like quick, and it's so soft, and it's great to wear with the top itself for color matching. Yeah, I was actually thinking, if I have the time, which I don't know if I'm gonna, I think I might be fooling myself, but I was thinking about maybe making some more of them and selling them on the shop, but I don't know if people would be interested. But yeah, I could do like all sorts of different yarn and blends of scrunchies. So I don't know if you guys would buy, do you think you would buy a knitted scrunchie? Do you think it's a good idea? Should or shouldn't I do a few more for the shop, or would you just make your own, I guess, if you can knit? But for people who don't knit, that you know, maybe in your family or friends, do you think they would maybe buy a scrunchie like this? I don't know. Let me know. Yeah, so that's it for finished objects. I don't think I've got anyone, but boy oh boy do I have a lot of projects in the works. So let's go to that one. Work in progress. There is a lot. There is a lot of work in progress that I can show you today. So we'll go through them one by one and through the future projects that I want to do as well. I will start, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with my test knitting, which is not finished, and the sweater hasn't been published yet, but the designer's been talking about, because we're way past the timeline, but I don't think I'm the only one. I think all the other testers are the same. It's a very time consuming sweater. Yeah, I think that the designer's been talking about releasing it early or soon. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to film this section about this sweater, and then I'm going to check with her before publishing if she wants me to maybe keep it a secret, and maybe I shouldn't show anything on the podcast about it, or if I can go ahead and actually show you guys. So if I can't show you, we'll just skip to the next one, and I'll publish it in another knitting podcast in future. But otherwise, let's go now. So the sweater is called the Yeye sweater. It's called the Yeye sweater because Dana, which is her handle on Instagram, is Boredom Kills Design, I think. Dana is in Germany. She lives in Berlin, and she very generously created a pattern with my yarn. So I gave her 3 yarns of Bliss Superwash Merino 4-ply on the color Oreo, which is a black, white and blue, you know, variegated color. And she made a lovely sweater with it, and I could not wait at the time to get it on the needles and get it, like, you know, knitted. I really wanted to do it, which I started to, and I absolutely love this sweater. I'd say it's a bit more advanced in terms of construction, so it took me a bit of time to wrap my head around it initially, but once I got it, it was actually really simple, and it's been really fun to work on. But it's also been a goddamn labor of love. I tell you what, it is a very, very long, you know, time consuming sweater to work on, because there's cables, there's broken rib, which is like 1x1 must stitch on the whole body. It's in 4-ply fingering, yeah, a long sleeves all the way to like here basically, so you can imagine it's just like intense. I'll show it to you now and then I'll keep talking about it. It's in progress and I'm almost done with the first sleeves, but I'm stuck on Sleeve Island, you know how it is. So here it is. I don't know if it's gonna focus. The colors are not really showing properly because of the sun. That is the sleeve. Look how gorgeous it is. I don't know if it's really showing. Yeah, there we go. So sorry guys, my camera cut. So here it is. This is knitted with Tusk, which is an ivory colorway that has flecks of purple, peach and green. I'm sorry. As you can see, it has a broken rib body must stitch. It hasn't been blocked yet, so it will gain room, but it has this lovely must stitch body and this big cable just around the neckline on each side, which then extend towards the sleeves. And yeah, once this will be blocked, the cables will open a lot more and just be a lot bigger. Mine is knitted, so it's knitted in 4-ply fingering. I'm using my Baised, which is Sparkle Sock for this one. So it's a 75 merino superwash, 20 nylon and 5% silver stellina. Sorry, I'm quite sick. And yeah, so as I said, it's in the colorway Tusk, which is this cream color. It looks very similar to Aphrodite. As you can tell, they have the same similar process of being dyed, except that Aphrodite is more of a eggnog oat kind of beige, yellow beige, and this is more like a creamy ivory, so they don't have the same base. This one is way lighter in color than this one, if you can see there, and not the same color speckles either, but they are similar in the way that they are made. So yeah, I absolutely love this one, and yeah, I can't wait to wear it. I'm doing a size medium. So you start, when you start the construction, you start on here, basically on the side, and you knit this way, and you separate the panel for the neck, and you'll do the front panel, then the back panel, and then you rejoin and do the same down there. Then you put stitches on hold for the sleeves. You do the whole body, so you'll pick up stitches all along there, and then you'll like knit the body down in must stitch all the way. I did mine cropped. I think it's a bit too cropped. I'll block it first and then decide if I want to change. In any case, I will change my cast off because it's too tight, so I need to do a different type of cast off that's more stretchy. And then you just do very long sleeves with this beautiful center cable piece like this. And it's, yeah, it's absolutely stunning. I tried it on a couple times and I absolutely love it. So yeah, I can't wait to finish it and get it worn. But I have another couple of inch to go on the sleeves, and then I have to do this entire other sleeve, so I'm way behind on my schedule. But as I said, I barely have had the time to knit at all this month, so it's time consuming, guys. So I'm gonna try and finish this within the next 2 weeks and bang it. I want to work on it every night a little bit, put time aside and get it finished. Yeah, so I'm hoping to have that finished very soon, and the pattern should be published soon as well. Yeah, I don't know, it's a great sweater. Definitely Dana did a beautiful job with that one, so I'm very, very honored that she chose my yarn to work with that. So that's awesome. So yeah, that was the Yeye sweater. I don't have too much more to say about it at this point. I'll talk about it more when it's finished, and then we'll see from there. But I will now show you my other Ghost Whisperer top, which is one that I'm making with Nana Cindy's yarn. So Nana Cindy and I have swapped yarn, and she's obviously a genius, so she's almost done with hers already because she knits really quickly, and she did hers with my baby Suri and the colorway Nessie, which is like a super contrasty foresty green, chartreuse, aqua and fuchsia pink. and she's almost done, and I'm doing hers. So she sent me 2 skeins very lovably. She sent me this skein of this colorway. I think it's called Sour Trip, but let me check. Yes, Sour Trip. You can't even see it, it's just that saturated. There you go. It is such a delight. Look at that. So she initially sent me that mohair for me to knit another Ghost Whisperer with it, but she sent me another one in her gilded yarn. I think I don't have the bend anymore, but it's the same, but it's a 4-ply with like gold lurex spun through, so it's like sparkly. I'm a sucker for sparkles. And I really wanted to see how I would like in 4-ply, so I actually decided to do it in 4-ply instead. Yeah, so I haven't done much at all because I casted it on during our cast on party, which was a live on Instagram, as you can see here. And since then I just haven't done anything because then I was in the preparation for Woolfest and trying to work on the Yeye sweater, which has to be my top priority. But I do want to have this one finished. I don't know if I'm going to have it finished by the end of June, even though it's such a quick knit, because I have to prioritize the other sweater first. But I absolutely love how it's working up. I just really love that yarn. The color is amazing. It's super soft to knit with. It's really cool. So yeah, I actually can't wait to just keep thrashing this baby and have a really bright yellow top again. I'm excited for that one. The only difference I've spotted so far from the mohair lace or the lace towards the 4-ply, it's just that the ends are curling up a little bit, which it tends to do when you're doing stockinette, and I didn't notice that with the lace, but I don't mind. It doesn't bother me so much. I could try and block it off or then do some sort of edging if I was really bothered by it, but at this stage I'm really not, so I'm just gonna finish the top first and then reassess if I need to later on. Yeah. Okay, so that's my Ghost Whisperer top. I'm doing another size medium again. Same knitting needle size, same everything, except that I'm doing it in 4-ply. That's it. Put that back into this wee bag. And I'm gonna take a wee break to get a cup of tea because my throat is really getting choked up and I can feel the nasal happening. Anyways, I'm getting a bit sick, so I'm just gonna get a cup of tea to just help soothe all of that, and I'll be right back. Okay, I've got a cup of tea brewing. Feels already a little bit better. Okay, so next in my work in progress, I think I can't actually even remember, you guys, where I left you last time, so I'm just gonna touch base on the next project I'm gonna finish. The next one, this one doesn't have a pattern. I totally just winging it with it, so there's no, I'm not following a pattern. There you go, I'm showing it to you now. It's really nice. I'm trying to do a little basic little t-shirts basically, and I'm knitting it in 1x1 rib. I don't know, I think I might have cast it on way too much. It might be a bit loose, like it's not going to be very snug to the body, but we'll see. You know, it could be quite nice the way it is, just a loose fit. And I'm knitting it with Swanky DK, which is my 50% baby alpaca, 25% silk, 25% linen. I love that base. It's so lovely, and it's in the apricot colorway. It didn't sell, I think, at the time. I had a couple skeins left, which I still do there. So I'm basically done with this one. I don't even know why I put it aside. It's always like that. You're so close to be done, but then you don't finish it and you put it aside and you start something else because you just get a urge to cast on something, don't we all? But basically I think this is the back panel and it's done. I can't remember, so I'm gonna have to figure it out. And I've got another panel that's midway about here. I might try to do some shaping, I'm not sure. Maybe from here on, maybe I'll call that the back panel, and maybe I'll try and do some shaping from the front panel a little bit. Otherwise it's basically it. And then I'll pick up the stitches to do some short, simple, quick little sleeves. Yeah, I don't know where I'm going with this one. You know, maybe it's gonna get the frog if it doesn't pan out at the end. It was one of those days when I really wanted a simple quick knit to work on and I didn't have anything on, so I just did that and I really like it. I just completely forgot I had this project on, I'm gonna be honest, until I opened that bag and realized there was something in there already, and it was this project which I had, yeah, completely forgotten about. So I'll just work on that probably next and get that finished. Yay. In this little cute little bag that my friend Melanie so lovelyly sent me. I think she made it for me too, which is super cute. Okay, the next 2 projects I'm working on I mentioned before, and I haven't done more progress on at this stage. One of them is a cardigan, and it is a cardigan by Petite Knit, which is not great just because she's just really not inclusive with sizing and stuff like that. But at the time when I bought the pattern, I didn't know that, and yeah, I've always wanted to do that vest, and I'm just annoyed by the fact that I'm not going to be able to advertise it so much. So there's a part of me that's almost wondering if I should scrap it and start anew, but then I really like how it's working up as well. I don't know, I think I'm just going to go ahead and finish this pattern and just not buy from her from there on, basically. But this is a little vest, basically. I think it's called the September jacket. Yeah, if you want to buy it, just know that she's just not great with inclusivity on sizing and everything else, so that's up to you really. But I paid for it. That's annoying me that I give her money and then I'm not going to get any use for it, so I'll just keep doing it, and yeah, that'll be my last one basically. This is knit in lovely Union fiber yarn. I only bought 2 skeins at a time of her worsted weight, and there's a merino linen blend, I think alpaca maybe as well. Yeah, I regretted having bought only 2. I think this is the colorway Heron, and I messaged Bonnie to see if she could do me a custom order for more so I could knit the whole jacket, which she very nicely agreed to. So you can see I'm about this level with it. I would love to keep working on this and finish it, so I'm probably going to work on that next, after I finish the Yeye sweater and the other Ghost Whisperer top. Yeah, I really do love it and love how it's working up, and I feel like I just wanted to get it done so I can actually use it during the cold months a little bit. I don't have any cardigans, so I was really excited to work on that because I'm someone that's been knitting mainly tops. Sorry, tops and sweater. And it's funny because I'm someone that do wear a lot of basics, like black and white little things like that, and I just mainly like a big jacket or a vest, something to put above. And I've never really knitted many cardigan, even though this is what I would actually wear the most. So I'm now making an effort to actually go and find patterns of cardigans like this. I will say, if you find a cardigan pattern that is similar to the September jacket in its look and construction, I do want it to be brioche. I do want it to be kind of balloon sleeves and maybe like a low cut like this. Yeah, if you find anything in like 10 ply that's from a better designer that might tick that box, I would love for your suggestion down below, because if I do find something that's you know, as nice as this in terms of the pattern itself, I will consider flogging the whole thing and starting again. Yeah, I'll see. I haven't taken a right decision on this one yet. I don't feel too guilty for continuing though. As I said, I paid for the pattern, so you know, and it is the way it is. But yeah, I won't advertise it as much as I would advertise all my other product afterwards, just because she doesn't probably deserve too much publicity. But I do like the pattern, which is frustrating when you love the work from someone and then they just don't do good by all of these issues that have been raised to them. It's just annoying that we can't just enjoy someone's beautiful work because they don't want to work on the ethical aspects of things. But anyways, it's with one of my lovely little stitch marker here that I made for my first cloud browns last year. I'm gonna make many more of these with stitch marker very soon. I just got many beads in the mail the other day, so I can't wait to actually, I've been wanting to offer them since last year, just haven't had a chance. So yeah, so that was it for this one. And then next I'm working, still this is on hold as well, but I love this designer and I love everything she does. I've already got 2 tops by her. It's the same as the Xtina crop top that I've made a couple times. So I know that I'm gonna love the result of this. And this is the Red Moon sweater. This is how it's looking up. So absolutely love it. I'm knitting it in merino linen single blends, both of them, but the white cream one is again tusk, so the same colorway as my Yeye sweater, but in linen this time. And the other colorway is called Underworld by Jo from Yarn Therapy, and I am obsessed with it. It's just so nice. Love this one as well. Amazing. I'm all about my like very subtle color palettes. You know, it's funny because I dye very bright color, but I don't necessarily wear that many bright colors, or if I do, that'll be a unified top. It won't be so much variation in it. I love to dye them so much, but I'm not someone that wears them so much as that. I do like to wear neutrals and this kind of stuff more. So absolutely love this. And this is also on hold for the foreseeable future. Haven't done any progress on it at all. I just have so much to work on, and yeah, it's a fun one though, so I don't know when I'm gonna pick that up again. I've got a few more that I'm not gonna show today that I love and that are also on hold. It's just a matter of finding the time more than the will, you know, for all of these. And finally, there hasn't been any progress either, but I will show it to you one last time because it will get the frog. So this is it's another What the Fade, I think it is, by Andrew Murray. It's a shawl, and I'm using my botanical fade to work on this, and although I do love how it's working out and it's really nice, it's gonna get the frog because not only am I not working on it, a couple reasons, as all the ones I mentioned before, but also I've already got 2 shawls, and I'm not a massive shawl person. I don't wear them a ton, so I wear them like occasionally when it's really cold. I'll wear a shawl, but I'm quite happy just wearing 2 I've got and alternating between them. And they're kind of fun to knit, but you know, I don't really necessarily get that many wears out of them, and I already have a What the Fade. I've got 1 What the Fade already, so I don't really want, I don't know, something about knitting the same pattern twice, although I've done it before this time, doesn't work for me. And the main reason it's getting the frog is because I got inspired by Katie, which is one of the my lovely customer and followers on Instagram who has bought yarn from me before, and she bought my Lunar Fade, and she is making Le Pouf sweater, which is a free pattern online by, I can't remember her name, but that's the lady behind Hedgehog Fiber. And she published this really nice basic raglan jumper with like balloon kind of sleeves as well, which is really nice. And I think it's knit in DK, and I'm pretty sure Katie held 2 strands together of 4-ply throughout the whole thing to fade it with the Lunar Fade, and it looks blooming amazing. I absolutely love it. And now I really want to do the same thing, but with this color, with the botanical fade one. So I think I'm just gonna frog everything and start again whenever I'm done with all of my trillions of projects and work on that. So yeah, I also do have to knit a sweater for Sam. I've been, poor man, I don't know if it's the same for you. Do you knit for your partner? Are you a selfish knitter like I am, when you knit just for yourself because you can't be bothered knitting for someone else because it takes too much time, and then you have all these other projects and all of these reasons? Because that's my case. Poor Sam has been waiting for a sweater for like 3 years, and I've been telling him, yes, I'm gonna make you a sweater, and I really want to make him a sweater, and it's gonna be a really fun, mindless project to work on. But it's again like, when do I squeeze it in amongst all of these guys? So it is kind of what I'm supposed to work on after I finish the next 2 test knits. Well, the Yeye sweater and the knit along. After I'm done with these 2, I probably should at least start casting on a sweater for Sam. And I'd love recommendation on that front. So I'm gonna dye it myself in the Alucasia colorway, which is the dark green I was just showing you from the botanical fade. He really likes that, so I'm gonna make it in like this really dark mossy green. And I want it to be brioche, or a full brioche type of thing, simply because he's got this like basic black sweater that he's got that's like very thick. It would be like a 10 or a 12 ply, and it's not hand knitted, it's like it's a commercial jumper, but it's like you could tell that it would be like a brioche, and it's just basic raglan brioche kind of top, like circular neck you know, just quite nice for a guy, and I want to kind of find a pattern that's similar to that, just a nice, flattering, not too much frilly whatever patterns for a guy. So if you know any pattern that would be like a 10 or 12 ply for men that would have brioche, faux brioche, or anything kind of, or even rib, I'd consider rib, that is quite basic from a good designer, I would love to hear your suggestions, because it's hard to find men sweaters. So yeah, you would do it in a size probably medium to large. So yeah, that's it for work in progress. Yeah, so I'm gonna have a cup of tea, a little bit of a touch of tea. Ooh, that feels good. Yeah. And now we're gonna go on to the best part, which is yarn acquisitions. So, as I mentioned before, not very much someone that has a lot of yarn acquisition, because I don't buy so much for myself these days, and always, just because I said I reinvest in my business a lot and I can just dye everything I want. So why don't, you know, it's not necessarily that I love so much that I see it's hard to choose basically. And yeah, but there's sometimes when you see it in person, like at Woolfest, there's absolutely no way I can resist. So it's easy for me to just close my eyes when I see everything online, although sometimes even it's hard. But you know, there's moments when you just can't say no. So the first thing I bought myself before I even went to Woolfest, I can't show you because it's an Advent Christmas calendar and I'm so excited for it. So I'm doing myself a Christmas calendar this year, and you guys really liked that idea because it really sold out, and I sold a bit more after that from personal request. So I'm making one, but I really wanted to have one to open as well on the day, like everyone will, but not mine obviously. So I wanted to find a Christmas Advent for myself. I'm a big Christmas kid. I absolutely love anything Christmas related, so I really wanted to celebrate like that. And lovely Samantha from Moonrise Yarn Co, which is one of my favorite New Zealand dyer. She's just incredibly talented. I love what she comes up with. Her colors are amazing. Basically, she put out a Christmas Advent, and she just had like the way I do it as well, like a palette of photos, like a color palette of theme and photos, and I absolutely adored the color palette she put together and the photo she chose. Yeah, it was absolutely, like, when I saw it was online, I hadn't decided beforehand, but when I saw it was online, it was completely impulsive, didn't even think twice about it. Was like, I want one right now. So I'm so happy I got one. I'm excited to receive it, but that's not going to be until Christmas. So yeah, maybe I'll try and attempt at Vlogmas again this year. Big joke, as if I did a successful last year. Last year I think I filmed like 2 or 3 days in a row, and then I was like, I'm doing the same thing every day. I don't have much to show. Also, it takes forever to like film and edit everything, and also I became self-conscious and all these reasons. So I stopped. I was like, then it was like whenever there was an episode randomly. So maybe not so much another Vlogmas this year. We'll see how I go, but probably just like a live on my story, opening it every day. So yeah, I can't wait to see all that. But that was the first thing I bought myself. And then I went to Woolfest, and ooh, you can see behind me there's quite a few things. Not a ton, as I said, I just don't buy a lot, but there, and I didn't have much time to really browse, otherwise I probably would have spent a lot more. I spent about $200, which was really reasonable for me, and it was friendly discounts from my friends, so you know. Yeah, I'm gonna go in order. So first I'm gonna go through what I got from Nana Cindy. No, wait, first I'm gonna go through what I got from myself, haha, because I'll show you. So basically, this is the same base as my apricot sweater, the Swanky DK. This is my 50% baby alpaca, 25% linen, 25% silk DK, and you get 250 meters per 100 gram. This coral black color is the coral vibe. I love this color. I absolutely love it. I have a sweater quantity. I have 4 of them, and they've been at the shop in town for months. They've been for months sitting by themselves. No one's bought even one of them. They've just been like looking at me because I'm obsessed with them. I've been looking at them for like months, I swear. And then I said, okay, I'll bring them to Woolfest, and I put them on sales, and they were on sale for $35 at Woolfest all day. And either no one looked at them, or if they did, they would immediately be like, oh, that's way too orange for me, which I find it to be more pink than orange. But it was just no one's cup of tea, this color. And it is entirely my cup of tea. So I had told myself that if by the end of Woolfest it wasn't sold, I would keep it for myself, and that's what I'm doing. So these guys are now mine and mine only, and I can't wait. I've got big projects for them. I know I'm gonna make a balloon sleeve cardigan again with these, just because I've got, I think, enough meters to make one. I said I need more cardigans. I'd love to have a cardigan, which is because most of my other cardigans I'm gonna be in neutral colors a lot to wear easily, but I also want in bright colors so I can wear with like just basic black clothes underneath, and that's the main piece. So again, if you've got recommendation for women's balloons cardigan, probably plain stock in it, or I don't know, whatever, like something not too frilly. I don't want cables, I don't want maybe a bit of lace, but even though I think I just want it to be really simple. Again, I'm not gonna buy it from her, but the balloon cardigan from Petite Knit, I just really like the look of that, so something along those lines. If you have a recommendation for a pattern, I would love to hear it, because yeah, I've got about 1,000 meters with that, so I can probably do like a crop one, I'm guessing. I'll see. I'm gonna do some research, but I'm not allowed to cast anything on for like so long anyways, that it's just gonna be sitting on my stash for like a while, and then I'll find them another time. Anyway, so that was it for me. As I said, there was this beautiful Nana Cindy yarn that I got from the Ghost Whisperer and the Gilded that I showed you before, so this is now part of my stash. And I've got a tiny stash, you guys, like maybe 2 more or 3 more skeins on the side that I haven't had here. This is the extent of my stash. I just don't have much because, as I said, no time to knit, and I can just dye whatever I need. So next I went to Nana Cindy stands and I grabbed myself some dye candy, which I never bought before, so I was really keen, and just those luxury blend, like, could not resist. So the first one I got is this guy. I'll try and show it to you. Look at that. It is stunning. So this is called Trigger Finger, and it is on her luxury blend of 70% grey baby alpaca, 20% silk, and 10% cashmere. Fingering, and there's 400 meters. I have never bought anything with cashmere in it before. This is my first time having a cashmere blend yarn on hand, or any blend with more than 50% alpaca, unless it's 100%, I guess. But yeah, it's so soft, and I just couldn't resist. And it was really hard to choose between this luxury base or her yak luxury base for every color, but this one really, I didn't think I was gonna go for that one, but then he kept calling my name. Look at those speckles, and you know how it is when they call your name, eh? So I just went home with this one. And then this one I knew I was gonna get before I even got to Woolfest, because I followed Cindy's live updates about her dye candy, and I was like, this is mine. So this one is called, it's a one-of-a-kind batch actually, and it's on Suri. So it's the same as my blend, 74 brush baby Suri alpaca, 26% mulberry silk. And it is this absolutely dreamy peachy color, which you know I'm all about the coral and the peach. And there's gorgeous speckles on there, like absolutely stunning. Hutch, I'm very glad I finally bought from your company. Yeah, you definitely know what you're doing. So absolutely love that. I've got absolutely zero project for either of them. They're just gonna sit pretty in the stash until one day maybe, or they'll just be like this forever, sitting in my stash. I don't really mind. They're both gorgeous and love them, so yay. Then I went to see lovely Heather from Heatherware, and this is when I really had to hold myself from buying her whole stand. Like, absolutely love Heather's color. I hadn't seen them before, and yeah, I fell completely head over heels for them. She has the most moody, deep colors, and I absolutely love it. It's the opposite of my color range, but it's all I love for myself personally. So I was, yeah, I basically was like this, and then close your eyes and go away because it's too much. So I'm gonna start with this little mohair, which is called, it's just called Pecan, and this is a mini 20 gram with 168 meters, 28% silk and 72% mohair. But I bought 2 of them because I loved it and I wanted more meterage, so I got 2. So this is the color, this is her wee card, Heather, if you see this, thank you so much. Love it. So yeah, it's absolutely gorgeous. It's very rich, just brown, amber, burnt, like rusty pecan color. If you know me, you know I love browns. I just absolutely love, especially, I don't know if it's the hair or what it is, but I love amber browns and stuff like that. It's just very rich, earthy colors I'm all about. So here's the second one. It's the same basically. Yeah. Then I got another single, not just a single ply from her. This one is called Pecan as well. So it's the same color, so you can tell that I've got a palette there. And it is in single ply though, which is also one of my favorites. So here we go. Gorgeous. Absolutely stunning. Quite different from the mohair, but like would look absolutely beautiful held together. And I've got here, that's a skein that I didn't buy at Woolfest, but I've got this one in my stash since a while, and it's a union fiber single ply brown that I bought ages ago, and I just think that will look all together. I'm gonna have to find a project which utilizes all of them, just because it's like all those browns together are slightly different, but they definitely go really well together, so perfect. And finally, more browns, still from Heather. This one is a full skein of mohair, and it's called On the Banks, and that is my favorite. Oh my god, like I don't think a camera is going to be able to render for you guys the depths of color you've got here. I swear this here is teal. You can tell it's like greeny teal that's been over dyed with brown. There's a few places where it's there, like there and there. Yeah, there you can see a bit more, maybe some browns, sorry, some blues in here. If I block this, yeah, it's really hard to show you, but it is gorgeous. And yeah, honestly, I just fell in love like with the moodiness of this yarn so much. So you can tell I've got like quite the brown and moody palette here, so I don't know what I'm gonna do with all this, but I know it's gonna be stunning. So yeah, this is all I got. Basically that's it. And then I did a lovely swap with Ash from Knot and Tie. Camera cut again. Yeah, I was saying I did a lovely swap with Ash from Knot and Tie, which is a lovely little dyer which I only just met and discovered at Woolfest. Basically Ash and I just had a good chat and got along, and then we're like, well, why don't we swap wool? So I got a lovely gradient wool from her. The labels fell off, but look at this color. And apparently Cindy got the same as me. It's pretty funny. Look at that, isn't that stunning? So gorgeous. So it goes from like super bright pink, which I love, those corals, to orange, to yellow, golden center. Yeah, so I got this lovely little gradient yarn from her. I don't have any gradient yarn, so I was very excited to see that. And yeah, and then she got some beluga from me, and that's about it. So you can see I've got like quite the color palette, lots of pink and browns, like all of this together, mainly pinks and browns, but there's like bright yellow and peachy orange, just yeah. So my camera's gonna die, so I might just have to cut now for a bit. I'll be back. Alright, we had a bit of an interlude. My camera died, of course, but really that was the end of the episode anyway. I don't have anything else to show you guys. Yeah, so I've definitely rambled on for quite like long enough, so I'm just gonna go back to my day, and hopefully you have a good one too. If you've watched up to now, thank you so much for being here, and if you could do all the things, you know, the click like, share and subscribe YouTube things, always very much appreciated. Yeah, and I hope to catch you at Fibertron in July, if we haven't had a chance to talk or met yet, or even better if we have, and I'd like to see you again. So yeah, have a great day, and I'll catch you next time. See you guys.